If nothing changes, nothing changes. In this video, I'm going to tell you a short story to help you, hopefully motivate you to make some changes right now. G'day, it's Ben Futrell here, co-founder of Maximize Profit. I'm all about helping you build the business that you imagined. So many business owners go into business hoping to build something more amazing than what they end up with. They end up with earning less money and working longer hours than they would if they worked for someone else. And quite often that's because they're not willing to get out of their comfort zone and make changes. And I wanted to share a little story with you that someone shared with me many, many years ago that really was the nucleus for me thinking, you know what, I've got to be comfortable making some changes. I think, have you got kids? I have. I've got kids, right? And I know that if my kids came home from school, let's say they went to grade 4, they came home at the end of grade 4 and they said, hey, Dad, I've got to repeat year 4. I'd be a little bit disappointed. I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't be. I would be a little bit disappointed. I'd be wondering what was wrong. I'd be wondering maybe there was something wrong with the teacher. Maybe there was something wrong with the school. Maybe there was something wrong with the education system. Let's not go down that road. But I would certainly be concerned. However, if it happened just this once, I'd be supportive. I'd say to my child, off you go again. You're going to have to repeat year 4. Let's see if we can do a better job second time round. Now, what would happen though, at the end of that second year, they'd come home and they'd say, Dad, I've got some bad news. I've got to repeat year 4 again. Now, we'd be starting to wonder what was really wrong. We'd be starting to think there's definitely something more to this than just the education system or the teacher. You'd be starting to worry, wouldn't you? You may even start to get some people involved to say, why isn't it that my child's not learning this stuff? Why are they struggling? Anyway, you'd be a supportive parent, as we all are. You'd send them off onto their third year of doing year 4 and hope that this time they applied themselves well enough and that they managed to get through the 4th grade at school. But imagine this. Imagine they got through that 3rd year, they got home and said, Dad or Mum, bad news, I've got to repeat again. And let's say this happened so many years in a row, they were driving themselves to school to go to grade 4. Now, you might have just had a little chuckle to yourself about that because that's sort of insane, isn't it? But this is what I see so many adults doing, and maybe you're doing it. Have you repeated the same year, year in, year out, and made that okay? Because back in school days, if you were in school, that wouldn't be okay. You'd be thinking there's something wrong. You'd be talking to teachers, maybe psychologists. You'd be getting tutoring. You'd be doing whatever you can to help that child to graduate year 4. Yet as adults, when people leave school and they go into the workforce, they tend not to work on graduating each year. Now, one of the reasons for that is because there's no test. There's no exam at the end of each year. Wouldn't it be great if there was an exam that said, did you learn something new? Did you invest some money somewhere? Did you make more money? Did you save more money? Did you grow your relationships? Did you increase your investment portfolio? Did you do travel in more places? Did you have more experiences? Whatever it might have been. Maybe there should be an exam at the end of every year to see if you graduate, but there's not. That's reality, right? So as an adult, we tend to get stuck in our little comfort zone, and unfortunately, when we stay in our comfort zone, we typically stay in the spot where we're at. So our finances won't grow, our life won't get better, our relationships won't get better, and we really do become stuck. It's sort of like being on a treadmill, and we hit this thing I like to call a glass ceiling. You can't see it, but it's there, and it stops you from growing. So I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you to graduate. And when I talk about graduate, I want to challenge you to coming up with what does it mean for you over the next 10 years? If you're going to go through another 10 years of being tested, of being, judged like you are at school, what would the scorecards be at the end of each year? What things would you have to pass with an A or greater to succeed? Because this is what you need to do if you want to be successful now as an adult. Nobody's going to hold you accountable for this unless, of course, you get someone like a business coach, mentor, or somebody like that to help you. You need somebody to help you, hold you accountable. There's no doubt about that. But you can do this yourself. You don't need to if you don't want to hire somebody. I always recommend hiring somebody because then there's no way you can get away with not doing it. But if you're really well disciplined, and I guess if you were, you wouldn't be watching this video because you probably already have achieved everything you want to achieve. Maybe you haven't. But it's really important that you think about the next 10 years. What do the scorecards look like? And how am I going to judge myself each year? And now we are still pretty close to the beginning of 2021. If you're watching this video and it's just been released, you may be watching this later on in the year. It doesn't matter. What I suggest you do is say to yourself, where do I want to be at the end of 2021? Where would I be happy? What scorecard do I need to be able to tick off? So I can say, did I achieve that? Did I achieve that? Did I achieve that? Now, if you don't achieve that, you've got to repeat. And you've got to say to yourself, am I okay with repeating the same year in, year out? Just like that story that I told you about. No one would be happy with that. But if you don't achieve those things, if you can't tick off that scorecard to say that you've achieved those things, then essentially you're going to have to repeat this year. Now, I've met many, many adults that I could photocopy this year, and that would be the next 10 years of their life. I could give them 10 copies of their year and just say, that's where you're going to be in 10 years. Why? Because they don't set goals. They don't think about what does the future hold for me. They don't think about how to graduate. Now, the quickest way to graduate, by the way, is just to learn more. That's all. The difference between where you are now and where you need to be is knowledge. That's all. Knowledge gives you confidence. Gives you the confidence to do the things that you need that are outside of your comfort zone. And the only way to get knowledge is either through reading books, watching videos, listen to podcasts, or get yourself a coach or mentor. And you'll get knowledge from those things. The only other way to get knowledge is from experience. So trying things. So if you don't give things a go, if you're not trying new things, then you're not going to learn from your mistakes. Mistakes are fine, by the way. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. I've made more mistakes than you can imagine. But that's what helps me succeed, is knowing what not to do. Alrighty, so don't be that fourth grader. Don't repeat year after year. Work on your graduation certificate for the end of 2021 and beyond, and I'm sure you'll have much more success. Now, if you've enjoyed the video, give it the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, leave your comments down below. Tell me, what is it that you do to make sure that you have graduated every year? What are some of the things that you measure or score yourself on? In fact, let's get that going on in the comments down below. Let's share what is on your scorecard so we can all copy from each other. In school, they call it cheating. In business, we call it market research. So share away down in the comments.